So, you want some more Homelander? You know, the guy that drinks milk out of a bottle? It's not just regular milk either. You guys have told me. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Dynasty. Back with some more Homelander news because this upcoming Monday is our new Kombat Kast dedicated to everything Homelander, and not just Homelander, but Kameo fighter Ferra. So that is taking place this Monday at 12 p.m. Central, 10 a.m. PT. Pretty excited for that. They came out earlier and said inject a little compound V into your week. So yeah, new Kombat Kast taking place this upcoming Monday. And also while we're here, late last night, Xbox.com dropped this gigantic article breaking down essentially how the developers pieced together Homelander in Mortal Kombat 1. They share like 4 new images of Homelander 2, so we're going to do a deep dive into that as well. It's maybe like 4 or 5 paragraphs, and it's kind of interesting. They talk about his ability to counter punches, which we see in the trailer, so if you're excited for that, you're excited for Homelander, the Kombat Kast, this Monday, do your boy a solid. It takes you 1 second. Drop a like on it, and maybe I'll bring back the bottle or something sometime soon. If you missed it, I was channeling my inner Homelander and drinking milk out of a bottle, featuring the Cookie Monster. I'm not kidding. I did that. I did that for you guys. So, again, thank you guys for always showing your love here on the channel. Without your support, these videos do not happen. But with that said, let's kick off all this new information from this Xbox wire in regards to how he came to be in Mortal Kombat 1. The face only a mother could love. Check this out. It's a pretty cool render of Homelander. You go on and it says, how NetherRealm Studios methodically designed Homelander for Mortal Kombat 1. Designer Joe Epstein shares the diligent work the team at NetherRealm Studios did to bring Homelander to MK1 on Xbox Series X and S. Again, it's coming from Microsoft, so don't worry, he's going to be on all platforms. Does this feel like Homelander was a key tenet throughout the creative process? Homelander will be available on June the 4th as part of the early access period for MK1's Combat Pack. Worldwide availability on June 11th if you do not have the Combat Pack, which I think is currently on sale for like 15 bucks. So there is ever a time. The article opens with this right here. I joined NetherRealm Studios not knowing what I'd be working on, so first morning I was stunned to learn what felt like everything at once about Mortal Kombat 1, and I was beyond excited to work on Homelander as an upcoming guest fighter, so I guess this developer is new to the team, and day one they just threw him into the fire and they're like, oh, by the way, you gotta create Homelander. How is that for your first day at the job? Holy crap. I've often recommended The Boys by claiming Homelander as one of the great characters in modern fiction. If Butcher is Ahab and The Boys his Pequod, Homelander makes a hell of a white whale. How's that for a comparison? Through the monstrous indulgence across each aspect of the character, from the writing to costuming to the performance above all, Homelander becomes a blank canvas for any interpretation you like. This includes the obvious ones the show invites. He's wearing stars and stripes, after all. You can draw a line from the groundbreaking superhero deconstruction in Watchmen to the terminal cynicism of The Boys. Both stories repurpose archetypes of prior eras to ask some unsettling questions. Which is more likely, that a real costume vigilante would be a heroic idealist or a net danger to others? Would Superman worry about gauzy American values or about the stock price of the research conglomerate that made him? I feel like I'm back in school, taking some AP English, reading this entire paragraph. Mr. Epstein, that one struggled in my brain to come across and read to you guys. But if we look here, here's a new image of Homelander smirking like a madman. Now, we do see both fatalities in the recently showcased gameplay trailer for Homelander, but I don't remember this scene. Safe to say it's probably right after the airplane fatality, which I called a train in my reaction video because I had just woke up 20 minutes prior. So yeah, this is interesting because, well, I don't remember seeing this shot at all, and honestly, it's pretty beautiful. I love how he's all bloodied up as well. He's been through some shit, so yeah. New look at one of the scenes, I believe, from that fatality. The article goes on to say, so I'm happy to go book club with Homelander, but that isn't what got us in the door. We're here because Homelander is awesome, great, and terrible, and the way Nova or Rogue Wave or H-Bomb has those qualities. He is the merciless last boss of a story with no credible heroes in sight. That's what punches our ticket. Later, we could see he's lonely, juvenile, and tortured despite unmatchable powers. That he's, if not sympathetic, at least understandable. Few people would choose the life that made him so strong but so cruel. And what better fit could there be for Mortal Kombat, a hard-edged universe where we sometimes have joke that there are no good guys. After careful preparation, we began work. Nailing the tone was key. Does this feel like Homelander? Was our guiding light question applied to everything? Poses, movements, sound effects, facial expressions, hand gestures, even the set of a shoulder or angle of a dangling foot. Homelander's central emotion is a bottomless contempt, which he struggles to hide for the sake of appearance. Watching that mask slip in the show's core tension, and we strove to maintain that here again. Here's a shot at one of the other fatalities where he is lasering you. We've seen this one before. I believe this is the image I used in my reaction video thumbnail. Look at them pearly whites. I think he looks good, man. I think he looks really good. I think he looks like Anthony Starr, despite not being voiced by Anthony Starr. And that's before we get into his arsenal. It's an amusing task translating Homelander into a game like Mortal Kombat 1. In The Boys, he's so strong that few encounters actually become fights, so there aren't many direct attack poses or references. This, of course, was not a problem developing his fatalities and brutalities. Homelander carelessly dispatches most would-be attackers with a laser eye flicker or casual neck snapping. Even against other supes, he usually deters futile confrontations by merely enkindling his eyes or waving a hand. With few exceptions we won't spoil, Homelander lacks credible foes, and he knows it. So, we leaned heavily on the fighting references that do exist, laying the foundation of his kit with the haymakers he uses in the show's most intense battles. We pepper in his disdain with some slapping and shoving attacks, more insulting techniques than a Lin Kuei or Shirai Ryu would dare use, and it was a no-brainer to include several versions of Laser Eyes, his most destructive and frequently used ability. They really weren't holding back with the eye lasers, as we see in the trailer. There's like 7 or 8 different options. It's gonna be so fun to see and play against. Beyond that, we had to embellish, always still asking, is this Homelander? To empathize his mobility and distinguish him from both Mortal Kombat mainstays and from other guests, we gave him unique flying poses and modes. So, the only man in the sky rightfully commands airspace better than anyone. Developing the game's first flight mechanic naturally introduced some complications. Our considerations involved how to distinguish fights visually. All sorts of animations depending on travel direction and what led into flight, must hair on Homelander himself while he's airborne, and cape physics adjustments. These overlapped with technical tasks ensuring Homelander flies in the correct trajectory, with the right velocity depending on the player's inputs. Design considerations included setting when it should be possible to enter and exit flight, and what Homelander is capable of while he's soaring. I do feel like I'm back in an English class. They included this screenshot of him doing a back throw against General Shao, and he gives no fucks, guys. That's arguably, I think, one of the funniest back throws in the game, just because he breaks the fourth wall and stares like directly into the camera and smirks and stuff and talks to us. The article finishes off with these last 2 paragraphs right here. It says, to demonstrate how skeptically he regards challengers, we gave him a punch-specific counter pulled directly from a flashpoint moment in The Boys Season 3. As with flight, this is a small seeming decision that leads inevitably to hurdles. No existing counter-style move needed to differentiate between punches or kicks. For starters, and it isn't as simple as just checking if the incoming attack resulted from a punch or a kick button, since some punch button attacks don't result in punches, while some kick button attacks do. Plus, Homelander may attempt a punch counter with either his chest or back toward the player's POV, while incoming punches may also likewise emerge from either chest to camera or flip stance. So, any given punch versus counter interaction has 4 different ways it can visually play out. Therefore, that many possible outcomes to set up and quality control. Catch punches or kickback or get a guy flying around might sound like a straightforward thing, but implementing them was an interdepartmental effort between animators, designers, engineers, and QA to get great looking and feeling results. We set out to spotlight Homelander's most brutal exchanges and honor him with novel spins on familiar mechanics, and we hope you agree. And here is an intro pose standing alongside Kameo Fighter Cyrax. Yeah, I think this looks sick. This is probably my favorite screenshot of all the ones they actually attached to this article. It is interesting hearing how they tried their best to make him as authentic as possible. Now, obviously, it's kind of a given when it comes to these guest characters, and somebody entrusts a studio like NetherRealm Studios and a publisher like WB to actually go out and implement these characters from other works of art into a game like Mortal Kombat. They gotta do it some justice, but knowing that really all they have to work with Homelander is that TV series, like what, 4 seasons? I could kind of see where the limitations were, but based on the gameplay trailer and what we've seen so far, I think they've pretty much knocked it out of the park. I mean, going back to Omni-Man as well, how much of source material do they really have to create Omni-Man in a game like Mortal Kombat? Not that much, and I think they mastered that. So if there's a company that knows how to make the most of things, it's NetherRealm, and I think they made the most out of Homelander, even if it's at our expense and having to deal with a guy who zones the shit out of us constantly with a billion different laser options. At least it'll feel like Homelander, so there you go. That is a full Xbox Wire breaking down that dev who worked on Homelander from day one up until now, 10 months in the making. If you guys want to check that out yourself, I have it linked down below. And remember, this Monday is an upcoming Kombat Kast dedicated to Homelander and Ferra, taking place at 12 o'clock Central Time. Overall, I'm pretty content with what we've seen so far. I hope he's not OP and broken, but I think he's going to be, because you guys know, every time you get a new guest character, in general, just a new DLC character, they kind of break the tier list, and they're pretty OP until they get patched a month and a half later. So, expecting this next month or so to be pretty annoying, but hey, at least we got Homelander. So if you guys enjoyed the video, if you could do me a solid, please, on this Friday night, take a second, drop a like on the video. Without you, again, these videos don't happen. I love you. Hope you guys are having a great night, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
On it crack, but I'm not superstitious. Count all these racks, I be steady, count on my digits.